Awesome. Well, I realize I am the one thing standing between you and wine, so we will make this fun and energetic. My name is Guastaferro, as Vipe said. I have that long Italian last name. But being Italian, I'm going to be bilingual today. Speak with my hands and English a lot. So that's us Italians, right? So let me go back a little bit. So today I'm going to talk about how to spark magic in your team, your brand, and your cause. And I think these are three critical factors for success, whether you're a business, a nonprofit, a coalition, or even an individual leader. I have been, for the past 20 years, working in multiple sectors of the nonprofit and for-profit side. I've worked with coalitions to advance causes, and yes, I have performed magic across 8 countries, soon to be 9 when I go to Peru this September. It may seem like a big difference between being a marketing and nonprofit leader and being a magician, but to me, they're not all that far apart, because when I'm connecting a donor to perhaps make the difference in a family, that their donation can actually help send a teen to college, maybe the first in her family to go to college. Like, that's pretty magical stuff. And when I'm performing at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, bringing the smiles to people, that's magical as well. So it's all part of my unifying vision to connect people to the extraordinary. So one learning I have is that if you have a lot of different interests and ideas, try to come up with one unifying mission to make it all make sense. As a kid, I always had this dream to go to the Magic Castle just to visit, and little did I know then that I would actually be a regular performer at the Magic Castle and go on to perform across many countries. And the icing on the cake is that my book, 1 Degree, is on the shelves of the Magic Castle Library and available in 4 languages across the world. So yeah, I'm truly blessed to combine leadership and showmanship, and it's been a fun ride. So my love for magic goes deeper than just entertaining people. I believe there's a wonder gap in this world. I mean, let's face it, when you turn on the news, you don't often hear a lot of good news these days, do you? And life is so busy. We're into technology and family and other priorities. We don't often take a step back just to pause and just appreciate wonder around us. I mean, the wonder of the ocean alone, I'm learning a lot more about that, which is amazing. So magic is kind of my way of bringing wonder to people's lives, because I think as adults we become a little jaded in that. There's no 7 wonders in the life of a child, there's 7 million. But as adults, it's not so much anymore. So we have to bring that alive through everything we're talking about at this summit to making things magical. So while we all can't be magicians, I do think there's extraordinary power into thinking like a magician. So let's think about this tomorrow or this weekend. You're talking to somebody, and they say, how did the summit go? I mean, I think just sharing facts and figures isn't going to cut it. Thinking like a magician will put you in that place to wow them, to captivate their imaginations, to make it meaningful and memorable. And ultimately, it's really about turning the impossible into the possible. Some pretty bold visions that we're talking about this summit. Some might call it insurmountable, but some might call it possible if we work together. So I think this idea of turning impossible into possible is a great theme to follow. So we're going to talk about how to spark magic in your team, your brand, and your cause. I often see a lot of companies misaligned. It's not enough just to have these 3 factors coexist. They have to be synergistically connected. This is what I try to help in my consulting to achieve. Now, for the most part, I see a lot of nonprofits inherently focused on cause, but maybe not enough on brand. And I see a lot of businesses focused on brand, but maybe not enough on cause. Maybe a little bit. Maybe they do a volunteer activity once a year, but these one-offs aren't really the way to operate anymore. There's more ways to bring cause to life. And then, again, for the most part, I think team is really deeply underutilized. I think that's probably the most powerful tool that you have. You just have to know how to, because team is very complex. It could be staff and volunteers and partners and everything else. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into these 3. I call this the Success Triad. And keep in mind, if you're just an individual showing up here today, you can apply these tips I'm going to give you just to yourself as a leader. And just as I talk about in my book, 1 Degree, I don't think it takes massive changes to get there. I think just 1 degree tweaks. Like you heat water up from 211 degrees, 1 degree takes to the boiling point. 1 degree truly can make a big difference. Let me, I won't spill that. Let me just bring this to life a little bit visually, okay? I know you're probably, is he gonna do magic? He said he was a magician. So I have 3 pieces of rope, but I purposely cut them into different sizes, okay? So, I mean, this is a small rope. So, think about you and your organization. What is the area you think has the most room for growth and opportunity? The area that's you're probably the weakest in, I'd say? And I guess for this medium rope, that's maybe the area that you did a pretty good job at. You could do better, but you're pretty satisfied. And then for the long rope, think about like what you're doing the best in. You're like a rock star. You're doing awesome, okay? But the idea is to try to get them into alignment, right? So there's the small rope, there's the medium rope, and there's the long rope. Now, of course, when you do this, they're still different. I mean, the loops stagger down, right? We can create the illusion they're the same size. I can get this long loop and double it over and hide it in here, and they look like they're the same size. But again, that's just a illusion. That's just surface strategies, right? We really want to get to the point where the ropes become exactly. That's weird, right? Oh, now he's good, right? So there's the small one, there's the medium one, and this one, but they're all now the same size. I know it's confusing because we only have 2 eyes, but there's 3 ropes to follow. So let's get rid of this one. We'll just use these 2, okay? But that's still kind of complex because there's 4 ends to follow. So just for you today, we'll just make that into one long rope. Okay, it's getting fun now, right? So that's when the magic truly happens. So let's make it more fun. Look, I have this solid ring here, and I'm gonna put it on the rope. We'll tie it into a knot. You've heard of that Chinese linking rings? That's a classic of magic, right? So this is kind of like that. We just have a solid ring and a ring now made of rope, okay? So this is kind of weird. Watch. Goes right through the rope. Ooh. Okay. Oh, stunned silence for some of you. It's okay, I get it. But just for you, I'm going to put the ring right back through the rope on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, right through the rope. See? No, that's not what you really wanted to go through the rope. I'm going to toss the ring. It's going to link on the rope here. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Check it out. Yeah, thank you. I love the woohoo. So, of course, it's just an illusion. Once you untie the knot, there's really no magic at all. The ring could just simply come off the rope right through the ends. And wait. Then you have like you never see that every day, do you? An endless piece of rope, endless possibilities, right? We can get the ends. I guess we can put it back on. Oh, there we go. Oh, fun stuff, right? So I want to get back where we started. For that, I need a pair of scissors, or it's okay. I could just grab an imaginary pair of scissors, right? That's 2. If I had this, that's 3, right back where no, it's not exactly where we started, right? I think you recall in the beginning, these ropes were different sizes, guys. I was talking about this triad out of misaligned, right? So watch. It goes right back where we started with a small, medium, long piece of rope. I know you're probably thinking there's something trick. I'll toss these to somebody. They're regular ropes and stuff. So anyway, I hope you like that. Cool. I could talk business or do more magic. Oh, no, don't answer that. I'll have to talk about business. So first of all, I want to talk about sharing your cause, okay? So what is cause? Cause is why you exist in the first place. It's the problem that you address that's compelling and you're uniquely qualified to solve. But I often see sometimes we're so focused on the next event, the Google Analytics, who's coming, this and that, and we lose sight. Wait, why are we doing this again? So just being aware of your cause, going back to your roots is important. Everything stems from cause, your mission, your vision, strategies, vision, objectives, everything. So that's why it's so important to know. This is a whole college semester in 20 words. Your cause is why you exist. Your mission is what you're doing about it. Your vision is where you're going. And your strategies are how you get there. Oh, I'm so glad you're taking pictures of it. Go ahead. Take it. It's yours. Yeah, so this kind of puts clarity. Because I see a lot of, I'm a geek of this stuff. If I'm walking through a company or a hospital, I'll take a picture of their mission and vision they have on the wall. And it takes the whole wall. First of all, it's too long. And they're all synonymous. It's a jumbled words of mission and vision, which just sound the same. So this gives clarity to it. So Simon Sinek said it best, that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And that why is your cause. I took a look at some vision statements from many charities. I looked at 30 of the top charities. Their average vision statement was just 14 and a half words. So while I wouldn't advise you to have a 14 and a half word vision statement, I would advise you to have a short, concise vision statement, okay? Your cause fuels your vision. So if it's why you exist, because of this problem, we envision this. That's the solution. Make-A-Wish Foundation. That people everywhere will share in the power of a wish. Alzheimer's Association, a world without Alzheimer's. That's bold, right? Really, that's their vision? A world with, going to obliterate it completely. But it's pretty amazing. Human Rights Campaign, equality for everyone. Habitat for Humanity, a world where everyone has a decent place to live. Feeding America, a hunger-free America. I mean, you get it. They don't need to have this long vision statement, right? No hunger in America. That's where they're going. So when you support them, that's what you are supporting. And then American Heart Association, life is why. They even have the word why in their vision, right? So when you're thinking about all the things we're doing today, going back, okay, why are we doing this? We heard a lot this morning when Liam Panetta talked about, I'm learning a lot too as I watch this, but the rising level of the sea and global warming and all these things, like those are the root problems. But we are coming together to provide a solution. So a way to kind of get there, and we often hear, think about benefits, not features, but I'm going to challenge you on that. Think of the benefit of the benefit. And that's where you really get this amazing, amazing word. So let's take my daughter, Sarah. She's 17. She goes to the YMCA camp, summer camp. She loves it every year. Now she's a volunteer leader. She goes to volunteer with the younger kids. So if I was describing camp to somebody using features, I would say, oh, Sarah goes to Camp Fox. It's during the summertime at Catalina Islands for 13 to 18-year-olds. They spend a week there. About 100 kids. Okay, that's features. Tells you a little bit, but maybe it's not really that compelling. If I were to talk benefits, I would say, Sarah goes to the YMCA camp. She learns about values like honesty and caring, respect, responsibility. She meets friends of from every background, a lot of diversity. Learns values, I said that, and confidence and goal setting. And that's pretty good. I think a lot of people would stop there in their lingo. I'm talking about the benefits. But what's the benefit of the benefit? What's the benefit of what I just said? I would say, Sarah, I could really see that she's growing into a compassionate leader. She's developing a lifelong habit of giving back. Like, that's the benefit of the benefit. That's the newspaper headline I want to read. Like, right now she's applying, she got accepted at 5 colleges so far. And, maybe the headline I'd like to read is 3 years from now is, former camper leads giving back initiative with fellow students at Chapman University. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I like that too. So let's do a quick headline exercise. Think about everything you've kind of soaked in today. It's a lot of great stuff, right? But let's try to hone it in on a vision. 3 years from now. Oh, I think this went off. I can shout. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's back. Magic. Think about a headline, okay? If somebody could raise their hand, what's kind of a short headline you want to read? Yeah, please, sir. A plastic-free ocean. I love it. It's concise and it's powerful. It seems impossible, but so do those other ones too. It's bold. A plastic-free ocean. Anybody else want to share one? Yeah, in the back, yeah. Trump denied second term. That's pretty bold too. We'll see what happens. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, that's good, but those are 2 good ones. And keep thinking about it, because what I'm already seeing is you're like thousands of words you heard today, and you got them down to like 3 or 4 words. So I think that's good stuff. By the way, here, I call this a magic formula when talking to donors, because if you know your cause, like we just talked about, the second step is sharing the cause in a way that inspires people. So when you're talking forget the elevator speech idea. Don't come up with a 2-minute elevator speech. Just have answers to these 3 questions. Why us? Why you? Why now? Let's take the swim program at the Y again, okay? Why us? The Y pioneered water safety and swim lessons 100 years ago. We believe that no child should lose their life to the water. That's why it's so vital. Why you? I know that safety of kids is important to you. Or I know that water is important to you. And I'm asking for your leadership to help us. And why now? This summer, more kids are going to swim than ever. And we live along the coast. We live near the beach. We'd like to raise our number from 2,000 to 3,000 kids this summer. Can we count on your support? That's one way to do it. I'll take one more complex example. I've done a lot of work on health policy. For the first time in history, today's generation is having a shorter lifespan than their parents. And it's because of unhealthy, lack of activity, unhealthy eating, that leads to obesity, which leads to diabetes and heart disease and shorter lifespans. That's powerful stuff. The only thing that's been shown to make a difference are community-based solutions. The Y can't do it alone. Kaiser Permanente can't do it alone. But I was successful in writing over $2 million in grants from Kaiser to work together So the why us, we are committed to health. Why you? Because even Kaiser and the Y can't do it alone. What's been shown to have the greatest impact is when multiple sectors come together: schools, municipalities, resident leaders, nonprofits, and businesses. That's why we need your help. And the why now? Well, every dollar we invest now is going to save $3 in treatment down the road. And the big thing is we're going to help people have longer, healthier lives. So anyway, just a few examples. I hope that sparked something in you. And that's kind of some ways to think about your cause and some ways to share your cause. Well, thank you so much. We have 2 more things to cover, so it's all organized, right? Another trick. So now team. I really believe that teams are the most underutilized aspect of your organization's success. They're the power of how you connect with the world. Your team's your brand. When I'm doing fundraising, I focus on relationships so much. I kind of jolt people, especially on my team, that fundraising is not our goal. Stewardship is our goal. Fundraising is the outcome. So if you're doing any sort of fundraising, that mantra could be very helpful. Stewardship and relationships are the goal. If we're doing that right, fundraising is the outcome. When I was in college many, many years ago, you think about marketing. We're going to come up with these great messages and we're going to throw it out there. That's marketing. We're just going to recite information. And that's not it anymore. So I developed this other chart. This is more marketing these days because there's so many levels with social media and everything else. You have a marketing team. You have this core group, right? And then you have an outer ring of other staff that aren't maybe part of the marketing team, but they're your brand champions. They're trusted, they're respected, they're connected. They help spread the word. They innately help people who don't necessarily know about your cause become promoters because they get excited about it, right? And then you reach your community. But then you have channels to also listen. It's about sharing and listening. And you're turning monologue into dialogue. I developed a training for a lot of staff at the Y to make them brand champions. There's no official thing from the YUSA called brand champions. We just decided to do it. We did like a 3-day training. We talked about the history and vision and mission of the Y. We talked about brand guidelines. And we picked about 12 people who are passionate about the impact, who are connected and respected. Now all of a sudden we have these dozen brand champions among 450 staff who are kind of spreading the word about our brand to fellow staff. They're our brand champions. They're also resharing things that we post in social media. So think about that, how you might create brand champions, a select few that you know that when they speak, people listen. Another way to do it might just be an old-fashioned SWOT analysis, but engage your team in the process. By the way, I never cared much for SWOT analysis as strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But I often see it just a jumbled mess of words like it is on the left because people fail to remember that strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. So I just revised the chart. It's a 1-degree tweak, right? But you can visually see when we talk about strengths and weaknesses, it's internal, opportunities and threats are external. By getting this list, it's already visually more compelling. But what's key is you involve the right people. Don't just do it with 3 or 4 of your C-level suites. Engage your team, which could be fellow staff, could be some of your major donors as well, your partners and supporters. Get their feedback as well. Ultimately, your staff needs to feel appreciated, involved, and in the know. And donors are part of your team as well. I did a training yesterday, a 6-hour training in Orange County for about 10 nonprofits, and we talked a lot about this stuff. But I was really happy to see 2 of them were related to the ocean. It was the Ocean Institute, and another one, I forget the exact name, but it was related to marine life. And I don't know if they're even here. I think they might be here. But I was just happy to hear that. It was kind of like, oh, okay, that's great, because I'm hearing more and more people talking about the cause that we're talking about at the summit. So finally, your brand. We're going to amplify your brand. So what is brand related to the other 2 things? There's a lot of definitions of brand. I think we all know that a brand is much more than a logo. A brand is everything that your logo represents. And when other people can look at your logo and recite, okay, this is what they stand for, then you know you're doing a good job at marketing. It's not enough for you just to know. So if you look at your brand as a promise, it's everything you stand for, from how you look to how you share. It's your brand voice. It's how you fulfill your promise. Here's a way to just kind of keep it organized. Start with knowing your promise. Wait, what is it that we stand for? What is it that when people look at our logo, this is what we want them to think and say and feel? Then you share it. Share it. Think about that's your marketing. That's your promotion. That's your social outreach. This could be, you could choose to do it with a Super Bowl commercial. You could choose to do it just with a grassroots effort. But the last thing you want to do is really shout it from a mountaintop, but then fail on fulfilling it. What if they come in droves to buy a product or support your cause, but then they're disappointed? Like, this isn't all what you said when you shared it with me. So you want to know it, share it, and fulfill it in a really genuine, powerful way. Fulfilling it, too, let me go back to that health policy example. So there's a lot of, I got some businesses involved in our health policy. So we had two purposes. Number one was to help influence public policy. So it was really great to have companies saying, we stand for health equity. And we'll go to the city council and share our voice as well. That's one way to do it. That's the capital P policy. But the other way to do it is internally. How can these companies change their internal policies? We call it like the lowercase p policies. Disney was a great partner with us. Not only did they help us amplify the message, they changed policies in the park too. I mean, as a dad, I have two daughters, so my 10-year-old, but she was probably 7 at the time, the kids' meal, they changed it where you would get, I think, a turkey dog, and you, instead of getting Coke and fries as a default, you would get milk or juice, and fruit by default. A simple little tweak. But it's just another example of changing internal policy and also helping to influence public policy. So whatever ways you choose to fulfill your brand promise, you can get as creative as you want, but do it in a really powerful and genuine way. And you don't just want to do it one time. You want to keep it over time. Brand loyalty. Don't just, we did it, and then go back to the way things were. So that's kind of, I call this the brand promise cycle. I hope you find that helpful. Just kind of organize your thoughts and stuff. So ultimately, you want to keep it simple but significant. I stole that from Don Draper on Mad Men. It's true, right? I like it. Because just because it's true doesn't mean you should share it. There's so much marketing. Like, let's share it. That's true too. Throw it out there. But we're exposed to 5,000 messages every day, and we have to cut through the clutter. And sometimes cutting through the clutter, a good way to do it is just use a few words. I call this the napkin approach. Just think about if you were sitting at a coffee house this weekend, somebody said, "Oh yeah, tell me about your involvement with the summit again." Instead of just reciting stuff, like pretend you just grabbed a napkin. Let me show you. Grabbed a napkin and marker. And I don't know what you would draw. And feel free if you want to start sketching now. If we had time, I would actually do this exercise with you, but just try to picture it. But the power of a napkin is that it forces you to be simple and spontaneous and creative and visual. Maybe you don't write any words. Maybe you color the whole napkin blue, like 90%. This is how much is unexplored of the ocean. Or there's all kinds of interesting ways you can express yourself. At the training yesterday, they did some really cool drawings, and I said, have you ever expressed your brand and your cause that way before? They said no. So sometimes it helps unleash some creative that's just kind of brewing inside in your head. So some of the biggest ideas in the world started off on a napkin. The MRI machine started off on a napkin. Whataburger restaurants, the Citigroup logo, they changed it from Citigroup, just the one on the bottom. The Space Needle, and I can go on. There's so many fun ways to do it. So these are a few ideas just to kind of spark your memory. So, and if we don't do it now, over the next day or two, next time I have a napkin and marker, just start putting pen to paper, see what develops. And I would love to see what you come up with, or at least share it with other people around. It's just kind of a fun way to capture all of our messaging. So this is something I did one time for a meeting with the Y. It's kind of hard to see, but on the left, it was basically the Y is in the middle of a lot of stuff. And we're not just a provider of programs, we're a charity that attacks real needs. And these needs of healthy living, of expanding learning, of keeping kids safe and connecting people. So like the Y's a hub in the middle of 4 key needs. So after that, I just said, well, I don't want to draw this napkin every time I meet with a donor, so I'm going to pre-make this napkin now. So this is what it looked like now. Okay, it started off on a napkin, right? And a kind of a good rule of thumb, I guess, on a napkin is to define your purpose, your priorities, and your plan. So the purpose that's the why. That's the why is around, because we want to be a beacon of hope for adults and children who suffer from social inequity and gangs and crime and unhealthy lifestyles and so on. But we help solve that. So that's the cause, right? And the priorities, we have these 4 needs we serve. And by the way, all those things on the outer part of the circle are the programs, but I don't lead with that. I lead with the needs. And the bottom, that's the plan. How do we get there? Well, you can support us in many ways. You can support us this year to help kids like right now. You can support us in the next year or two to support a capital project, or if you want to leave a gift in your long-term plans for endowment. So like today, tomorrow, always. So that's just good, one of many examples that might come from just brainstorming on a napkin. So that's kind of a few ways to capture your brand promise. This is the part where I say, show me your napkins. But did anybody draw anything? I'm just curious. Probably not. Oh, did you draw a napkin? Do you want to describe what you drew on your napkin? Yeah. I love it. Okay, yeah. Maybe it could be a cool logo. Don't steal that. It's hers. But we realize things aren't easy. We don't just get from here to here in a straight line, right? Sometimes it is some thinking along the way, right? So you have this loop-to-loop going, but it's going upward. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. So once you have your napkin, share it with the world, right? That's the big thing. Because once you capture team brand cause and look at it through this lens, you begin to realize this impossible can really become possible. I'm getting excited. The things that we could only imagine can become real. Can we turn imagination into reality? So I'm going to close with one more thing. I want you to imagine that I just have a deck of cards here, okay? I'll toss it to I'm sorry, what's your name? The napkin. Deanna. Okay, here, I'm going to toss you the deck of cards, okay? Thank you. It went in a loop-de-loop on the way. Give a little shuffle, okay? Wait, I'm sorry, take him out of the box first. Thank you. Sorry, just saying. Okay, and how about have the gentleman next to you reach in and choose a card? Okay, but don't even think of a card, but I just want you to, we're going to team up to come up with a card, okay? So it's the card, should it be red or black? Oh, sorry, he has the card, but thank you, it's cute. You want it to be red or black? Red, so a red card, it's your choice. Okay, toss the card to somebody else, I don't know. Who got it? Okay. Okay, so he said red, so there's hearts and diamonds. What do you want, hearts or diamonds? Hearts, okay. Nobody could have known we'd say that. Okay, toss that card to somebody else. Okay, so we said hearts. So there's an ace, and then there's 2 through 10, and there's a jack and a queen, a king. Do you want a court card or an ace or a number card? Oh. A court card? Okay, like a jack, a queen, or a king. One of those. Is that true? Okay. So why don't you throw that card to somebody else? One more time. Okay. Who caught it? Oh, well, that's good. You had some good actors right here. The timing was spot on, too. Okay. I think you caught it. Is that cool? Okay. Jack, queen, or king, whatever you say, that's the one we're going to use. A queen. Cool. All right. Throw the card back to where it started over there. Cool. Throw them back to me on the count of 3. Oh, wait, shoot, you're fast. Okay. No, it's okay. Wait, hold a second. Ooh. There was one in the group oh my God, how did you do that? But wait a minute, is this the same deck you just had? Can imagination actually become real? I mean, oh, wait, here's the deal. Wait, take these cards. I missed the most important part. Put that card upside down in the deck. That was the key. I missed that part. So, yeah, upside. I'll throw it back. Okay. Okay, I got it again. Okay. So, in our imagination, there should be one card upside down in this deck now. Let's see. It's going to be really interesting. I suppose we could have ended up with the 5 of clubs, but we didn't. Thank goodness. Oh, there's one card upside down on the deck, right? You could have said any one of these, I suppose. But we ended up with one card upside down in the pack. You could have said black, you could have said red. You said red, and I forgot what did we end up again? The Queen of Hearts? Oh, shoot, it doesn't always work, but today it did. The Queen of Hearts, we did it! So we truly can turn imagination into reality, right? So with that, when you wake up tomorrow morning, just think like a magician. Think about when you're talking about the important cause, wow people, captivate their imaginations. The stage is yours tomorrow. And you don't even need a spotlight. You are the spotlight. I'm John Guastaferro. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.